Hey champions, welcome back. Scott here with Founding Champions, and today I've got for you a Death Deck Tech. Now, more specifically, this is a Warrior Wizard control for Death, and I'm going to get right into it. So first off, the reason why we call it Warrior Wizard control is that we got two Warrior Wizards right here. Two Warrior Wizards, discard one card from your hand, gain 2 health. Seems pretty bad. However, I'm going to show you how it's good. The objectives here are fairly easy. I'll show you a combo where you can play a vampire and then remove a dude pretty quick, and then you're just going to go, after you do that, you're going to play a heroic deck to gain life and then play a guy as your second action, and then boom, he is flipped. Next up is just a normal wizard. We have Skulking Necromancer. Reduces damage for all the allied risen units that are to his left and to his right, and maybe even on top of him. And he's probably one of our more harder guys to rotate, honestly. But if we do have Devourer in our hand, it gets pretty easy. Then we have Spirit Torment. When this champion or a card controlled by this champion removes a highlighted unit, gain 2 health. So it's really good for our control deck to gain health. Moving its top left corner and its bottom left corner is slightly difficult because we don't have too many spirits, and a lot of our abilities we might not want to use with Spirit Torment. But I will show you how we can do that easily, and he can rotate fairly quickly through the other objectives. Now, to start off, we're going to go with our blessings for the other cards here. Turmoil of Souls, 4 damage, they lose 2 cards, pretty control-like. Here, every time we deploy a guy, they'll take 2 damage and they'll lose a card, so they can lose up to 3 cards and take up to 5 damage. Every time we deploy a guy. The best blessing in the game, in my opinion, highlighted units are dormant. Just their field worth of units is dormant for 3 turns. And then, of course, Orb of Immortality to keep us alive. You know, especially if they try and nug us for a large amount of damage and we're like 4 life total, you know, this is huge. So it requires our opponent to try and ping us before then trying to kill us. Alright, and then we have as a staple, Devour. You always need your 3 Devours. Then we got Deathly Resolve, and you're going to see in a minute how this is really good. You can play it while playing the spell, and then you just rotate all of your spells 2 forward. See how that's really good. Here's our Hoser card. This, if we're playing against somebody that's trying to do a combo or they're drawing tons of cards or another control deck, this can hose them. So we'll just use it to do 2 damage, and it works great with Skulking Necromancer's 2 ability objectives. Next up is Tactical Formation. Soon I'm going to try and change a card to put 3 of these in the deck. This is one of the best cards in the deck, honestly, in my opinion, so far. But I just wanted to show you the deck as played right now. Anybody can use it, of course, which makes it great for like Skulking Necromancer and Spirit Torment's abilities. Draw 1 card, swap this champion position with a highlighted disengaged champion. It's really going to matter in certain situations that I will show you soon. And it makes all of your removal better. So if you're like, wow, I want to use my Devour, however, I want to use it when it also rotates my champion and have maximum value, sometimes you need to play a tactical formation to move your guys in the right position to use their effects. Next, we have the spells. We will go with Claws of the Grave, and I'll show you what kind of creatures we use on the 4th corner, and we use, honestly, all of the creatures. All the creatures are good on their last corner. And you're going to get that last corner effect twice. It works with Deathly Resolve to try and speed that up. Deathly Resolve also finishes the spells off, so you can play more spells if you are playing your spells and then next turn playing Deathly Resolve, to then play another spell or creature because they're warrior wizards on top of them. This is a removal spell because our hungering vampire lord does need to remove something, so we did put that in there, and it gains 6 life. So this with Deathly Resolve, we can play this, play this. It loses our 2 cards and 2 actions, got it, but we will gain 6 health, and their guy will die, and our guy will rotate. And then we have this. This also works with Deathly Resolve. You play this, remove a highlighted unit if it was removed to play a vampire from your deck or discard pile or hand onto this champion, even if it's a wizard, replacing this card. Alright, so we will go from X all the way to the rotation, get our card, replace Born from Blood, and then we will get our guy. Next up is some of our units. Now this is the guy that rotates our Spirit Torment on his last quest. However, it's also great with Claws of the Grave because it will do 8 damage. And if you don't use it like that and you just stack it, well, think about it, you're going to have 2 turns not doing anything, but with support 2, you're doing 3 damage, and then you'll be doing 7 damage. So this card will do 10 damage. Pretty good for a finisher card. Next is Freakish Crypt Horror. He is a great all-around card, absolutely amazing card. Has been performing very well for me. I don't want it all the time because we don't have anything that immediately rotates off of him. We do need vampires and stuff like that, but things for like Spirit Torment, you would go damage, rotate Spirit Torment, you're also gaining a life, nothing, then 2 damage and gain 2 life. Spirit Torment rotates again. Also great at rotating our Hungry Vampire Lord on his last rotation. Here we go, one of the best cards in the deck, Feasting Vargeist. It rotates our Vampire Lords, we gain life, draw 2 cards. Draw 4 cards with Claws of the Grave. Awesome ability. Awesome ability. Here's arguably the other better card in the deck, best card in the deck. Damage to your opponent. Remove a highlighted unit. If unit was removed, gain 1 additional action this turn. Great with Spirit Torment to gain us our 2 life. Deal them a damage. Gain an extra action. You're just doing a lot of things with this. You can get it with Born from Blood and sort of lock down that lane so your opponent doesn't use that lane. Things like that. Next up, we have Charging Black Knight. It's good with Skulking Necromancer because it does provide that 1 reduction if it is on the left or right of him. Remove highlighted unit and then does 2 damage. So we can discard this with Hungering Vampire Lord, play Claws of the Grave, and because it's the last card discarded, this will then be removal. And again, Frenzy Vargeist will do the same thing. Will kill their guy, gain that additional action, and then pretty much lock down that lane for the next turn while still doing a little bit of damage. So you see how a lot of these cards have synergy with each other. I did choose to use things like, I only want 2 of these. Imagine having your opening hand and having 2. Well, or having 3 of these. So we don't want hands like that. We don't want to draw these back to back. We sort of want 1. But then we also want to see it just enough so that we actually do see it. So just 1, but we have 2 in the deck so that we have a chance to actually see it. Scatter the Forces. We never want to have more than 1 of these, like ever. Now against the matchup where it's really good, of course you probably want more, but even though in those cases your opponent can play around this very easily if they see that you have it, so your second one will almost always not help you. But of course, if you have that opponent who just doesn't care, sure, put a second in the deck. Tactical Formation is at 2. I do want to put this at 3, so that might change. And what we might take out is either that Rogue, Hoser, Scatter the Forces, or like a Freakish Crypt Horror. Just cards that we don't want too many copies of, guys. Again, the Feasting Vargeist, the removal, we're going to always want those guys, because almost always our opponent's playing some number of dudes. Almost always. I haven't seen any pure wizard deck yet. I think Chaos is the closest to pure wizard, and even they don't go pure wizard. And I don't think you have much to worry about in those matchups anyways. So those are the number choices, the card choices, and what we plan to do with the deck. So if you want to see some gameplay, I would post that in the future. And again, guys, thanks for watching.